Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. I think we're on episode 4 already. In the last episode, we got coal and power stabilized, we got smelting all done, and that's right, we are going to be working on the hub today. Now, when we left off, I said I just wanted to show everybody the basics of how I do it. Now, this isn't my own design. There are many people who use this particular design in one way or the other. There's no kind of wrong way or right way to do it. It's just you do it whatever way works for you, of course. And now, as you see, my power is empty, so I need to get stocked up on coal. And that's the thing, when you're using your drones often, your power deletes very, very quickly. So again, like I said, you gotta make sure you're topped up on. That's so interesting because up here again, I'm at 0 for 0 and it's not ticked across. If you see that up there, it's so interesting. Ah, there it goes. I think it just took one extra to go across. What we researched here is what I was talking about. I think maybe in episode 1, where you have vein distribution on the planet. So let me just grab some coal here so I don't forget, and then we can talk about that. And basically what that does is let's move away from this so we can hear ourselves talk. Because you have ambient sound based on how you're facing, and I was hearing the miners go. I'm not sure if it picks up for you guys or not. Anyway, so in map view, as I said here, on the right hand side, it gives you a list of what this planet has. Your starting homeworld virtually never starts with silicon or titanium ore. Those you have to get from one of your sister planets, which one of them, if not both of them, will always have some. It may not be a good deposit, but they will always have some. Now, silicon you use to make silicon ingots. Now, you can make that with stone, which I will be showing you probably before we move off planet how to do that. Titanium, you have to get off planet. Anyway, this planet has a bunch of iron, not a lot of copper, decent amount of stone, decent amount of coal. And then it tells you your type in, and then your crude oil is 54.43 units, I guess, per second. Now that's combined. Now it's hard to kind of tap all those because you're limited with your belt speed, etc., etc. I don't have to go into all of that. But what I was talking about earlier about vein utilization. So down the right hand side here, you see this kind of, I don't know, info area. You click on this and you click on vein distribution and watch what happens. Look at that. And I like to keep this on typically when I play. It tells you where every vein is, or every oil seep. They call it oil seeps. Every vein of every type of ore on your planet. Now when you research vein utilization, is that the term? Vein distribution of off planets and then entire clusters, etc. You can view all of the planets. But for now, we can only view our own. And of course our gas giant, which is over here. But anyway, this gives you a good indication that there's a lot of oil here, there's a lot of oil right here. Everything's pretty much spread out. Over here you start getting a lot more oil. Down here you have some more coal. Here's some good iron deposits. Here's another iron deposit, more coal. And then down at the pole, there's virtually nothing except oil. That's typically what's found at the poles, or at least one of the poles is your majority of your oil. Why that is, I don't exactly know. It's just kind of how it's set up. And then in between kind of where we're building here, you have a little bit of everything. So this is a real good overlay. Now, it doesn't really distract me too much by having it on the regular game because it doesn't stick up very much. But again, down the bottom right, you just turn that off and you can toggle it. Just like you can turn on, if you have a power issue somewhere and you don't know where it's coming from, you click on the power grid and it shows you the power. And it does the same thing in map view. So if you have everything turned off but that, it's a good idea to see where you say, okay, maybe I can cut this power here if I'm overdrawing on the coal, or you know what I mean? It's just a better way of doing that. Now, I never really leave the power overlay on because I don't feel I need it, so I don't. Now, in the span of time that I was just jibber jabbering, there our mecha fuel generation has filled up, and now we are good to go. I'm going to top it back up with another 100 coal. Look at that, we burned through it so quickly. Now, back to the hub. And you see the drones, everything's going slow, and I'm not going to worry about advancing into the next tech research yet, because I don't want my mech is going to be drained on power, because I'm going to be doing so much handcrafting. Now we do have a lot more belts finally, so we can get those put out. I'm not sure if we'll have enough. I think we will. Good. And what I want to do in here, so I want to remember this is smelting, but I'm actually going to disable that, because I want to be able to click and drag this. Remember, you hit the tab key, it spaces out things, and if you go too far you hit tab and it goes back. Now the reason why it's not working here is because I'm taking it from this. I have to take it from this one if I want to do that. But again, I can just copy it to one. Or is that not working? Oh, that's why, because I am out of sorters. Silly me. So the sorters should start coming in, and then I can start dragging. Well, I guess I can do one at a time for now until the sorters start making, because you use basically 6 sorters per assembler here, and that's a lot, because some things only take 2 items. So it may seem like a waste in the beginning, but trust me, once you start setting up your hub like Mark II, hub Mark III for your advanced things, doing it like this, you don't have to worry about what lane things are on. You just set it up, you kind of set it and you forget it, type of thing, which to me I find a lot easier. Now when I'm doing kind of my own game and I'm doing recording here, I kind of go through things a bit quicker, but with recording like this, I want to give you guys the opportunity to see what I'm doing and obviously ask questions or give comments. I am recording a bunch of these in a row, but that will slow down once I kind of get more on a schedule, which is kind of the goal. All right, now this, I have one more to do. Oh, don't tell me I'm out of these already. Let's get a few more. I just want to complete this part of the thing. And why? Oh, okay, as I'm lacking resources. So I'm going to dump one more here, and then those will make as it needs to. Now, getting back here, as I was saying about setting up your recipes, there's not a lot to choose from in the beginning. Unless you start researching way above where you're actually at in the game, you don't need more than this type of stuff to start with. So we got the belts, we got sorters, we have assemblers, we have smelters. The next thing for me is going to be miners. The next thing after miners is going to be storage boxes. After storage boxes is going to be the thermal power plants, and then it's going to be the wind power plants, and then it's going to be the Tesla towers. And the reason why I do these at the end is you'll see it. This one I'm not going to put anything at yet, because I want to be able to put the rechargeable Tesla towers, and I'm not sure what that's actually called. I think that is in, let's see. I don't know exactly where that is in here. It doesn't really matter. Here, high efficiency plasma control. So this you can put in your wireless power tower, which those are actually very good to charge your mech when you're not, so you don't have to use fuel all the time. You stand by one, it charges, and there you go. Anyway, here we are. Our first basic hub layout is done. Now the next thing I always do is you come in through here and you set limits. So those, will take 2 stacks. These will take 5 stacks. This will take 2 stacks. Now for certain things, stack to 100. Some things stack to 20. Some things stack to 50. I don't know those numbers offhand, so you can kind of play with it as you go. And mind you, if you set this to 2 and you find it's way too many, then you just back it off to 1. It's not a huge deal. For sorters, I like to have 4 stacks, and then because they stack up to 100, and belts stack to, I believe, 100. I think it's 100 or 300, something like that. But anyway, I like to have a lot. Now, you may think, well, what do we need for all of this stuff? Well, we need iron. We need gears. We need stone, which I'm going to put the stone on the outside because you don't use a lot of stone. We're going to need these magnetic coils, and we are going to need the circuit boards, or you could call them green chips, but the next advancement isn't red. They're not red chips, so you can just call them circuit boards. And now if you look through everything that we have, everything here will take 1 or more of those ingredients. I can't reach these because I'm too far away. So the easy ones are hooking up iron, obviously, and stone is easy because I'm making stone. Do I have that set up yet? And actually I don't, but anyway, yeah, I do. Here, sorry, the stone is set up here. Now as you see, everything looks very kind of congested here, And that is okay. That's how this game. Let's make some more belts. Hopefully this is the last time I actually have to make belts. And don't worry if things are a bit, how you say, messy, because it doesn't. It's just the way that the game works, and just like Factorio, Satisfactory, etc. You have spaghetti until you start producing things to where you can move to a whole new area. This is just the way it is, and I've come to terms with that, and it doesn't bother me. Now, one good thing, which was a new feature that they added just in the last patch, I think, is the ability to to left click on a belt and to put a memo icon of whatever you want. And that's very handy for something like this when you're trying to set up things. Most things use iron plates, so that won't have to be in the middle. Only a few things actually use stone bricks, so you put that on the outside. And now, just like in any of these type of games, even though you're going to be having inserters on everything, it's only going to take what it needs. So this one's not going to take brick. It's not going to take circuit boards or magnetic coils. It's just going to take gears and iron ingots. And going along with the iron ingots, now these are kind of clumped together, but I'm going to end up putting some out here. It's not going to be a huge deal. Let's make a few more of these, because one thing we don't have is we don't have the magnetic coils, we don't have the circuit boards, and we don't have gears. So those are all things that we have to make. Now again, if you look here, gears are just iron plate, so that's easy. And just for, I guess, ease of doing this, I'm not gonna go too crazy with resetting all this up. I'm just gonna spaghetti it together, because that's typically how you do it when you are a new player. And we don't have splitters yet, and that's perfectly fine as well. So what I want to do in here is let's do it down here. And again, this is all basic stuff, how we're going to get set up here. Now, with conveyor belts, you can raise them by pushing your up arrows, and you can go up, 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 and you can go down, down, down. You can't go obviously underground, but typically I go up one. Is that going to be enough to reach here? It's not, but we can go to there, and that's going to basically stay above all the way until we come to here, and that's going to tap into that. Now, the output of this is going to be making gears, by the way. Now, I ran into my first little problem, which is not a big deal. You just take it, and you just move it somewhere else, which I don't know where I can move it. I guess here. Connect the grid back up, and there you go. Now again, I'm a fan of spaghetti. It's just kind of how it works in these type of games, as I said before. And now you see here we have to go over top of this, which is a bit of a pain, so I can't actually do it that way. So let's go up another one. How high do I guess you have to go? You got to go really high to get to there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this a different way. I think we're actually going to take this up here, and we're going to take this one across, and then this one, actually I'm of course out of items, which is typically again how it works in these type of games, again, which is perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of dropping this here, I want to drop this one here, and I'm going to drop this one, if I can do this properly, drop this one to, we're actually going to have to do it like that, which is perfectly fine as well. And I think it's because we actually crossed the fault line, maybe? No, it's just a bit janky, and that's okay. And this one is going to make gears. I just want to basically get the basic, this basic hub up and running, and just for the sole demonstration purposes. And then once we have a certain setup here, we're going to mostly likely just move to a completely different area on the map to continue doing what we were doing. And as you see, my power is basically out. I'm out of power already, and it's just because of the drones, and we're probably running low on power as well here. So I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to make a couple boxes, is instead of just continually grabbing from the assembler or the miners, I'm just going to put a box here, and all that box is going to do, once I can do it, all that box is going to do is going to fill this up with 4 stacks. We'll do 6 stacks. That way, whenever I need, I can just come and grab it without having to really be worried about how much coal I'm grabbing. And because you burn through coal so quickly, it's kind of hard to stay, well, I should say it's not easy to stay on top of it. I still like to keep these hydrogen fuel rods. You'll see why later on. Once we start traveling to other planets, I like to have them in my inventory, ready to go, just in case. Oh, look, now we are already starting to produce iron gears here. I was going to say iron gear wheels, because that's kind of what they look like, but now, of course, we're set up here. Now, belts are going to start being made immediately. And there you go, as you see it. Now, the way that these work is this is traveling length of 3 grids. So it's only going 0.5 trips a second. So it takes 2 trips. It takes 1 second to move one item into this item. So it does, you will get backed up. Now, when you get into your advanced, your next level sorters is where this really pays off. Because if you look how slow this is going compared to how fast that one went, and then this one's fast, this one's middle, and this would be the slowest. You can only span across 2 tiles, so to speak, with an inserter. But nonetheless, look, we have stuff happening. We have belts in the box. Sorters we don't have. Everything else takes something besides that, I believe. So we're not going to have anything else in these boxes. But you know what? That's perfectly fine, right? Now, because I have this already set up, I don't have to do anything to it except throw in some inserters, or sorry, some sorters, which of course we are out of. We're always out of something. And again, I'm going to check my power grid. We're perfectly fine. We could jump between about 60 to 80%, but I'm not going to worry about it. And again, you just right click and that clears your, look at that. We have belts. I don't have to make many belts anymore, which is great. And as soon as this starts going down the line, see what else. Storage boxes are going to start to be made because they only take stone bricks, and they call it stone bricks, and iron ingots. And then here we need a couple more things. Obviously, we need magnetic coils and we need the circuit boards. So what I'm going to do, because everything's getting a little congested, which again is how it works in through here, is I'm going to put 2 of each here. And this one is going to make circuit boards, and then this one here is going to make magnetic coils. And I'm not going to do anything fancy with this. I just want to get this on the bus, so to speak. Now, one thing I will do here is to get these items underneath here is I'm actually going to raise this up a little bit. Raise it up to that, and then raise it to there, and then bring it back down. That way these belts can fit underneath here. I'm actually going to switch these around just because of how I have it set up, which again is not easy. It doesn't really matter which side they go on. I just want to get this basic setup. I want to at least get the hub done in this episode if I can help it. And then again, here we're going to come across, and we're just going to come down, and we're going to join those up. Okay, so let's get some power towers made, Tesla towers, which again, you always need more. Everything, you always need more. I think we might be okay with this 2 here. Now, if you look here, magnetic coils need copper, which we have, and they need magnets, which are made again from the ore. Now, I'm not going to try to do things with ratio right now, but basically it's a 2 to 2 and a 1 to 2. So copper is easy. The magnetic coils, you basically need 2 per second. These take 1.5 seconds. So if you have 3 of these machines, which actually you make them through smelters. Now, I hate having to get, let's see where our iron box is, because I think we are running a little bit low on supplies. Go figure. And while we're here, let's check out our coal box. Look at that, filled with coal. Let's push all that into our mecha, and there we go. As I was saying, these require 2 per second, and if you have 3 machines, you can put out 2 per second. So I have 2 machines, so I want to make a row of 6 of these when they create, if you will. And of course, I'm running out of belts again, but because we have our basic hub just going. Now I know I'm kind of jumping around and I'm not doing things probably as efficient as I could. This could be going a lot quicker, but it's fine because I want to make sure everybody sees kind of the process of how to do it when you're just starting out. Now if you're an advanced player, you're going to say, well, this is silly. I don't need to see any of this. I know exactly how to play, and you know what? And that's perfectly fine as well. But while I'm waiting here, I can grab, I don't need a lot of copper for this, so I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to raise this up. And we are going to come across and actually do that. And let's see if I can do that without disrupting everything. Bring that across and down. So I want that to be on the outside. And I'll show you why in a second. That's going to jump like that. And then this is going to jump like that. And that's going to jump. Oops, I got to go out one more. And then this one obviously has to go away. And that's because I want to have 2 inserters on this. Because you're reaching twice as far in a sense. So it takes twice as much power. Okay, so let's back this off. Now I'm going to break my one little rule here about building. Actually, no, I don't have to. I can do it like this. I have my smelters. What do I have? 3, 6. I can at least get these, start to get them laid out. And again, this just takes. It takes. Actually, I can grab it right from there. It takes iron ore to make these, which is going to be perfectly fine. Because all we can do, again, we're talking spaghetti here, but pretty much it's hard to start any of these games without making a little bit of spaghetti, of course. Now I'm out of belts. I think I'm going to actually have to make some belts, which I really don't want to have to do. I'm going to have to make some inserters because I don't think they're going to be crafted in time. But again, that is okay. So we need to make magnetic rings. There we go. And then do we have more made here? We do. So I can just do one. Oopsies. Now I'm breaking my rule here about building vertically versus building horizontally. But it's because just for the purposes of the tutorial here, I just want to kind of get something going. And again, if you're not building, you're not doing big builds, you can do that. It doesn't really affect anything. Even if you're building over fault lines in some sense, it doesn't. Again, you play how you want to play. I need to get some inserters on here, so I'll let that roll. And then there we go. Actually, while we're here, let's see if we actually have any inserters made. Now, I don't believe we do. We do have belts. We do have belts, so I'm actually going to cut that off, and we're going to get some inserters going. And the thing with your hub is once it's set up, which again is taking a bit of time here. I'm talking to you guys and whatnot, but once it's set up, it's kind of hands-free. It just does its thing, and you don't have to really babysit it at all. Like I'm definitely lacking power right now. Again, this is beginner game issues. And if you hover down here, you see my energy details. So basically your core power regen, you have your fuel power regen, and then it has your drones of what's being spent, and then your total. If your total at the bottom is in yellow, you're at a deficit. If it's at blue, you're gaining. And obviously I'm still in a deficit because I have all these things that are still building. Now here's a good, this is actually an achievement of having Icarus at 5% for more than 3 minutes, which isn't the best thing, but it is reality sometimes. And I gotta get a few more of these inserters, and then I think we should be good. These will finish constructing. Do I have them? Perfect, there we go. So I want to get, again, this is the problem in the beginning, is because you're trying to just push and push and push here to get everything built, but sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you just have to take a chill pill and sit back. But look at all we've done since we've started. On episode 4, look how far ahead we are. We're working on our hub right now. We're going to be sending other items in. We're going to be making magnetic rings, or sorry, magnetic coils very quickly. Now, no, by no means are we saturating a belt here, nor do we have to. Now, the thing with these is these take copper, which guess what? We have it right here. And then the only thing we need now is iron ore. Now, the easy way to do this would probably be just to grab another belt from over there, because we don't have splitters, or I'm not sure what they're actually called. But you know what? That's perfectly okay. I can still jump into this, and you can do some fiddling around with how you want to lay this out. Because instead of the intake being here, guess what? The intake's going to be here now. And the output is going to be here. Again, you do what you do to make it work. And once it's working, you are perfect. And let's try to get one more drone put in, and there we go. This is a bit janky, but hey. I remember the first time I played Factorio, it was a spaghetti mess. I didn't understand how I could manage to make anything. The first time I played this, obviously, this is similar to that game. Not exact, of course. Now, what we're actually going to do, since I've noticed, is we're going to put copper on the inside. Which, again, hey, it works for me, right? So, this episode is getting a bit long, but I do want to finish the hub. At least getting the base. And always checking power. Always checking power. Got to make a couple more of these. Let's get some inserters going. And also one tip here is it doesn't matter where you put the inputs on these devices or these assemblers. You have 9 inputs, 9 outputs. You can put it wherever you want. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. It can be, again, however you want. But we're getting there. We have a little bit more belts to put in. So I'm just going to I'm actually just going to let the drones work while we stand here and we chit-chat. While we're chit-chatting, we can have a look actually at our star map, which if you hit the V key, and I always hit N to rotate it, this is our system. We are in the Beta Valorium system. And if you see, we're in the middle planet here. We have Bellavorium 1. Now this here, I didn't check this in the beginning. This is a tidally locked planet, which means you have one side of the planet that's always facing the sun. And as you see, you have a bit of a solar energy bonus. Now, what also is good about this planet is this is a lava planet. So I know it's going to have some silicone and probably a lot of titanium. And also iron and copper. Those are typically what's found on lava planets. Now, it's a lot of lava you have to pave over. But when we get time to launch in Dyson swarms, this will likely be the planet we do it from, because you'll never have darkness in this part of the planet. You can't really zoom in that much, but basically this part of the planet is always in sunlight, so you're always going to be shooting at the sun. Now, we actually got lucky. Let's go back to that view. We got lucky. I didn't realize that was tidally locked, which is good. And then this is Beta 4, which this is likely going to be ice field, which is very interesting. It's similar to an arid desert in the sense of it's flat. It's 98.8% is covered in dirt, or in this case ice, that you can build on. But your wind energy and your solar energy are very poor, and it's because look how far away from the sun it is. It's so far. Your orbit is 13.6 thousand seconds compared to the rotation. Now the rotation is, see if we can see it rotating. It rotates very fast. This is only 10 minutes real time. This is like, I don't know, 20 times longer, so it rotates very quickly. But your wind and solar are very poor, and this likely isn't going to have any coal and very few other resources, probably titanium and probably stone. So this would be a planet that is good for building because it's 98% buildable, but look how far away it is from everything else. So we have one good planet and we have one kind of not so good. But look at that. As we were talking there, we have these being produced. We have magnetic coils. Magnetic coils or rings. Magnetic coils being made. And look at that. We're already maxed out on those. And we're making the circuit boards. And look at that. Our hub. Let's check power real quick. We're right on the teetering on the edge of power being okay. which is fine. We will add to that in the next episode. Look at that. Our hub, everything is working for the most part. And the thing is that these things will take a while to build up because and like I said, you can come in here and you can add more to these to saturate this belt. You could do more to these. I mean, you could always do more to make it go quicker. But quickness in this regard isn't the name of the game. Where is Mayor? I want to go over to here. And I guess I can fly a little bit before I drop out of power. So that didn't really work. I think next episode, because we're already over our time limit here, our next episode, I believe I want to work, and you can chain these together as I said before. Let's see if we can get one more out of this to double the power, because look, now we're definitely satisfied. So I think in the next episode we're going to work on the power grid some more, get that pretty much stabilized. I'm going to add one more here, so we'll be fine that way. Get it stabilized, and then we're going to check on our hub. And then maybe do a little bit of exploring around the map to see where we want to actually start building. And you may say, well, what are we going to start building? Well, we need to focus on science. Because I don't want to handcraft any more matrix cubes. Blue cubes, red, any of them. So I think next episode, we're going to get power stabilized, take a look at our hub, see what improvements we can make to get it working faster. Circuit boards, I think, definitely can be doubled up to get a little bit more productivity out of that. And then we're going to talk about getting science, just the basic blue science, which if you look at it, all it takes is it takes magnetic coils and it takes circuit boards, which guess what? We have right here. We have them right here. So we're probably just going to tie into this just as a little bit of a spaghetti mess. We'll keep adding on to it because why not? We have the machines. They're being made. All we want to do is produce a little bit of science, just to get things rolling while we work on our factory and basically increase everything. And that's going to be, can I not attach another one of these? I should be able to attach another one. There we go. Twice as fast. And we'll do another one. Anyway, thank you for sticking around this long. I know it's been a bit of a longer episode. I'm going to try to keep them around 20 minutes from now on. But I wanted to get this hub made and I wanted to get this power sorted. And guess what? Look at all we've done. And can we see a bit of a better overview of what we've been working on? Look at that. Our little slice of the planet. Sun's coming up. That would make for a pretty good thumbnail. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.